Hey guys, John Faulkner here with Survival Dispatch, and today I have a requested video that you guys have asked all the time. And this also spawns from the fact that I usually have Chris Weatherman, aka Angry American, standing here that has written tens of thousands of pages on EMPs and protecting your devices. And that's what we're going to talk about today. This is a question that we get asked everywhere, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, is, John, you guys love to play with cool toys all the time. We love our electronics, but how do we protect them? And, and there's a lot of people out there that say, hey, aluminum foil and an ammo can or a dumpster or a old refrigerator, is going to protect my electronics if an EMP or a solar flare or something were to happen. And there's a potential that it could work. There's also a great potential that it probably won't work either. And so what we did is we have an in-house brand called SurviveTek. And what we did was we came up with a bag system for you guys, and it consists of two different sizes. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk through today exactly how we use them and kind of talk about some of the features and stuff of these. So first of all, this is not just something that we threw together. We went through months and months and months of testing, manufacturers, and finally came up with a system that we approved of, and that's why we support it and we bring it into Survival Dispatch. And SurviveTek is a fantastic company that we were able to have the ability to control the quality control and set pricing that was affordable for you guys to be able to protect your gear, because that's what it really mattered. So the bag system that we're going to talk about today is a two-part system. So first of all, you have this inner bag, and this is where a lot of people stop. They say, hey, if you just get an anti-static bag, you open it up, you throw your product in there, and you'll be good to go. So we'll take this Garmin GPS unit. This one's Nicky's here. He won't care if I ruin it because, hey, he doesn't care, and we think that it's good. It's sealed and it's good, but it's really not. These things are very, very flimsy. They're very fragile. They can get folded. They can get wear marks. They can get a little crease in them. That could allow waves to get through and damage the devices on the inside. Another problem with utilizing a lot of these bags is the fact that you have no clue what it's actually rated for. These are just made to make sure that electronics do not get static charge while they're in styrofoam boxes and things like that getting shipped overseas. They were never really meant to protect gear from an electrical event. So they're more just made for packaging and shipments. So, but that's the first part of it. And the reason why we included this was two reasons. Number one, it's a really nice bag that you can zip close, and it gives your gear some water protection, because pretty much everything that's going in here is electronic device, and electronics don't like water. Just remember that. So you're able to put a device in here. We'll put this Garmin back in here. We'll zip the top up here. Now I have something that's going to be water resistant. If it was to get rained on or something like that, it's going to be dry. So what else can this bag do? Well, what this bag does is it keeps your electronics from touching the copper mesh that actually protects from an electrical event inside the SurviveTek bag. This is where a lot of companies go wrong. They just throw the electronics in here and you think you're good to go. The downfall with that is if you had something like a radio, okay? This is a Uniden right here, or we have the really good CountyCom GP5 here. These metal things on the top, they're called antennas. And when you take an antenna and you place it inside a copper bag as such, when it touches that copper mesh, all you've done is created a bigger antenna. It's not actually protecting it, it's actually making it more susceptible to an electrical event, because that antenna, as you can see, is now touching the copper mesh on the inside. So what we did was, with the anti-static bag, fold it up, stick it right in there. And now there's no way, if I was to put an antenna device or anything that had metal attached to it, there's no way that that can touch the actual copper mesh wire on the inside. And then a really nice roll top with super strong Velcro. This is one of the things that I was crazy about. you got to really work to get this off. And what that does is it makes sure it stays sealed, and it makes sure that it tries to close up every gap possible. And with the double fold, this is exactly how a lot of dry sacks work. With the double fold, it makes sure that that copper mesh is really nice and tight, and boom, there you have it. You now have a protected device from an electrical event. And these bags were rated by Dr. Bradley Arthur. He is a world-renowned scientist when it comes to things like this. He has his own testing facility. We sent him a bunch of the bags. He brought him everything from 100 megahertz all the way up to 500 megahertz in a huge spectrum. I'll leave that video link right here so you guys can go check it also. So these bags have been tested, and it even passed, you know, what his standards are for a Faraday type bag. And this being the smaller bag, we call this the Trekker. And what this is made for is you can put electronics in, you can throw it in a backpack, you can throw it in a bug out bag, you can put it in a vehicle, something like that, and know that you always have small electronics ready. It's great for things like a headlamp, a radio, a weather radio. This is a satellite communicator, Garmin here. Thermal, a small thermal device, PVS 14s or dual tubes like we have here, night vision stuff. And you know, the world is your oyster. You can pretty much put anything you want in here. We also have 2 identification pockets in the back. So what this can allow you to do is you can take something as simple as like a Post-it note, write what is in there so you don't have to open it up if you have multiples of these, slide it in there, and boom, now you can write on there, you know, hey, radio or ham radio or, you know, whatever it might be. And it's very easy to identify, or you could just color code it if you want to. But those 2 pockets allow you to, you know, have some identification without having to open it up. So we got our Garmin GPS unit in here, and we got one of Nikki's radios in here also. And as you can see, Nikki and I and Chris Weatherman, Charlie Hogwood, we all use these bags on a daily basis pretty much. This is my travel Faraday bag. And you might be saying, John, what do you keep in a travel Faraday bag? Well, I'll show you. I have to travel a lot for work, and this is kind of a bag that ensures if something were to happen, I have some forms of communication and communication. So the first thing that you can do with this bag is if you're traveling, if you're going out of country, you want to make sure that your cell phone's safe. If you don't want to use your cell phone, you could put it in there. It's going to kill all signal. Nobody would be able to scan it if they had a scanner, anything like that. So if you're wanting to do that, you could throw a cell phone in there. This is what I keep in my bag, and this is what I've traveled with for well over a year now, and it always rides in my backpack. So first of all, just some cash. I know that has really nothing to do with electromagnetic stuff, but you know, I keep a couple of gold coins just in case I were to run into that, and then passport. So I always use my ID when I go through like TSA checkpoints, but I always keep a passport with me. Just in case something were to happen to my wallet, I were to lose it, anything like that, I would still be able to get home because I could use my passport at the airport, be able to get printed new tickets and be able to get home. So I'm not stranded somewhere. So I always keep my passport in there. But these can be scanned. They have information in them that you don't want people to have. So keeping it inside a Faraday bag can keep your information secure. I also have a couple of forms of identification, just copies of my driver's license and CCW that I keep in there. And then I keep a burner phone. This phone has all the contacts of people that I call all the time in it. So if something were to happen to my main phone, and then I have a SIM card that's a prepaid SIM card. So those all stay in there. So I have a way of communication, and I also keep my identification safe as well. You can also put your wallet in there. You know, there will be times where I take my wallet out of my pocket, I put it in there so that if anybody has a reader or a scanner that's walking by you down the streets or in the airport, they can't get your credit card information, driver's license information. A lot of stuff is stored inside a wallet. So all of that stuff goes in the small Trekker bag. And then you can throw it in your backpack, your carry-on, even your checked luggage if you wanted to, and you know you have safe. So that's how I use it, even just on an everyday basis. We're not even talking, you know, end of the world or anything like that. So that's how I travel. Now, a lot of people were to ask too, John, all these Faraday bags that you see on the internet, they're smaller. They're like the Trekker. They hold a radio, but not much more. That's why we came out with the second bag. Welcome to the Vault. We call it the Vault because this was a bag that we made specifically to our size, our dimensions, because we wanted it to be a large bag that you could put stuff in and then store it. Store it in your house, store it in your safe, store it under your bed or in your closet, but load it up with gear that was bulky and big. I'm talking anything from if you have like a desktop radio, a ham radio that, you might have a spare one, or you might not use it all the time, but you don't want it connected to the wall where it could, get fed an electrical signal that could fry everything. So you could keep this in there. You could keep larger flashlights. You could keep laptops in there if you're, wanting to. Solar panels, big battery packs if you wanted to. Big Wi-Fi jammers, all of this stuff can fit inside the Trekker. It's huge. I got one right here just to kind of show you size-wise. This is one that Nicky uses for his radio, so he just keeps all of his antennas in the back identification windows that are really big, but he just keeps his antennas right there so they don't get crinkled or bent or anything. But you can open this thing up and dude, you can just go, my whole, pretty much past my elbow, almost up to my armpit fits in this thing. It's massive. So, you can put this large ham radio base station in here. And I got the anti-static bag already in here. This is how I like to do it. Just drop that down there. This is a large roll-up antenna. We'll throw that in there to keep everything together. Put a large Olight Javelot Pro in there. Oh, it's got so much room. About a Wi-Fi. We'll throw that in there also. Review coming up on this soon. And as you can see, there's still room. I could keep going here. I could take drone, Mavic, put that in there. Boom. And then just simply roll the top, and I got an awesome station in order to keep stuff, And that's the biggest thing. You might have things like night vision gear or thermal optics, things like that you don't use on a regular basis. But to make sure that it's safe inside your gun safe or wherever you keep it, the vault is a fantastic way to make sure it's there in case something were to happen and you were to need it. All the materials on both bags are exactly the same. The only difference is the size and the purpose of them. So, super cool bag. We really enjoy these things. We've used them a lot. This bag here, as you can see, this was a prototype bag that we've been using for over a year. It doesn't even say SurviveTek on it. The new ones have the logo across the top. So this is one of the pre-production models that we were going through. But you can get both of these bags. We do a combo pack, and they're only $49.95 on the Survival Dispatch store. We'll leave the link below. You can go click it today, and you can start ensuring that your electronics are safe and secure in a SurviveTek bag. We have scrutinized over this stuff so much. We have worked with these so much, the quality control, the materials being used, because it's stuff that we use. We made these for us, and now we're giving them to the public for sale, but it was something that we wanted first. We weren't, really interested in marking the price way up and making a ton of money. It was a product that we wanted and we believe that everybody should have and be able to acquire affordably, and that's what we tried to pack every single feature possible into the SurviveTek bag. So click the link below. Go check them out. If you got any other questions, feel free to leave them below, and make sure you hit that like button as always, because it helps us. And like I said, the video that I want to do today was just to show you all the stuff and the features that go into a SurviveTek bag. And if you want one, click the link in the description, go pick it up today, and you won't regret it. Have a great one.